Welcome back, everyone, to our season finale. We made it!
I'm still alive.
I know, right? Let me just wipe my tears away. Oh my gosh, we are, I can't speak for y'all too, but I am shocked and blown away at the same time. Like, we actually did this and it's coming to a close. This first season is coming to a close, and it's been an awesome ride. And just going through this, like, kind of, I can't even find the words because I'm just, it's really emotional almost. Like, we did it. Like, I was this excited on the third episode, and to say we're on the finale, it's insane.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's been a journey.
Yes.
It has been a journey. It has been a journey.
And we're so grateful for every single person that has supported us, and we are thankful and grateful and hopeful that you got something out of this season.
Mm-hmm. Whether it be one.
No, that's how you end it.
No, I'm sorry.
That's.
Thanks for watching. She's like, cut it off. So,
what are we talking
just
about
kind
today?
Well, do you want to go into kind of a recap of what this entire season was?
Yeah.
We're going to get into, what are we getting into?
Yes.
Thank you. What now? Like, what happens now that we've done all of these healing steps and we know how to be there for ourselves? What happens now, especially in what I kind of want to get into, is how it plays out in current relationships that you already have. And we'll also get into spiritual gifts.
Yay.
It'll be something you're not expecting, so stick around. With that being said, we started off the season with grounding, how to come back to self in your mind, body, who you are, and taking a break, and whatever is going on in your life, whether it be, positive or what you think is negative, just coming back to self in that neutral space. Going through childhood trauma, healing the inner child that we all have inside us, reparenting, because that was a lot to cover. Pretty much. It was the bulk of the season for sure. But Lord, come through, beloved. It just goes to show how much magnitude that has in doing that healing work with your inner child, and boundaries and all of that good stuff, and just being aware of ourselves. It has been an awesome journey, to say the least. So, with that being said, what now?
Well, let me ask y'all this question, right? Because you brought it up in the recap. Within your guys' personal journey, how has that affected the relationships that you have within your life? Have you seen, and I mean relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, all across the board. Have you seen people leave out of your life, different people come in your life? Like, what was your personal experience?
For me, I think my bonds got stronger with the people in my life. Not many people, honestly, have left. A couple, yes. But not in very dramatic ways. More like, oh, okay, I see that a lot of the times, even recently or in the past year or two, those people left just due to the fact, like, and it's not in a dramatic way, it's in a way where it's like, okay, there's something about myself that I have to move away from you, and it's not you as an individual, it's just, like, you know, like when people are getting broken up with and they're like, it's not you, it's me, but like, I think it's a legit thing. Right. I see everyone,
I say that all the time,
you know, but I think it's legit, like, it's legit now, like, you know, people make fun of it, but, like, even for me right now, I have someone in my life and I'm like, it doesn't have to be dramatic and bad. So I think that's one really good thing that has come through the spiritual journey, is that it doesn't have to be dramatic, it doesn't have to be toxic. You can wish people well and move forward and thank them for being in your path, because they help you recognize something about yourself.
I agree with that. And I love that you said what you just said. But with you know, without the dramatics, and you're just kind of in a space like, I mean, it is what it is kind of thing. Like, if it's more of that recognition of just, I know I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah, I think before it was really toxic, like, you hurt me, and I don't want to say victimizing myself or something, but kind of like, and I'm not being hard on myself, but I think a lot of the times what I was really upset with was myself anyways, not the person. So, you know, I even think when people talk about forgiveness, it's not about forgiving. Yes, it is forgiving someone else, but it's also like letting yourself heal. Like, that's why forgiveness is such a big teaching in a lot of spiritual practices. It's one of the number one things, no matter what religion across the world, you're here forgiveness, because you can heal yourself. So I think that's one really great thing that you learn through your ego death process, because there's definitely people who are getting dropped off along the way. You cannot come on the bus. There's a stop for a reason. Like, you know, so
last stop.
Pull that exactly. This is your song.
What about you, Tanya?
I would say that it helped in the process. It helped me identify why I was having these relationships in the beginning. You know, and I think it made it. I think the reason that it wasn't as toxic as of endings is because we, as healing, we didn't have that need of the connection as much. You know, like, I didn't. Once I worked on, like, my codependency, letting someone out of my life that was no longer serving me became easier, you know, because I was showing up for myself. And so it was identifying, like, why these connections were in place, and which showed me within myself, why was I seeking out these connections in the first place?
Right.
You know, so I think there was some relationships that dropped off, and then there also was some ones that was added in. But I think the ones that did stay, they changed, they transformed, like, new boundaries got in place, the relationship looked different, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think, like, I've recognized, like, I'm so grateful for the people I have, because I see such a bond in them. Like, not that we're just friends because we choose to be, but like, oh, like, there's this really deep, like, bond. It's not just so low, like, it's not surface level. Not that I've honestly ever had. I don't think any of my friends are surface level or have been in the past. But I can see, like, deeper meanings, because it's really interesting. I also feel like a good indicator is, are they going through similar things? Not like me and you have to be doing something at the same time, but like, man, I feel off. Me too. Like, it's like that, like, ride of, like, meeting each other at the, like, or not meeting each other, but like feeling the same energy at the same time, or going through something around similar way. It's really cool to see that with your really strong bonds, how they kind of just, they align at the same time with you.
Because I will say, before, I've always been a person to just be like, you know, it is what it is. Like, you're out of my life for a reason. But I struggled with forgiveness so much, and actually, like, truly being at peace. You know, I'll use the it's not you, it's me, like, all of the time. I'd be, you know, you don't deserve me and all of that, but I would still be hurt, and I would still feel hurt. Versus now, yes, I still feel that emotion behind, losing someone that was in my circle or just being around, but it's also like okay.
Yeah.
Like, into just to put it in so many words, it's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, acknowledging what it was in the good times, and not unfortunately, I have to go this way for my growth, and you have to go that way for your growth, because we don't know exactly what each person's path is, because everyone's journey is going to be different.
Yeah.
And who's to say who's going to be on that journey the whole time?
Mm-hmm. And who's to say that they don't come back after years of like growth and expansion, that person comes back, so you never know. Like, I think the people that really want someone to come back somehow comes back anyway. So if your soul feels incomplete with a person, I think eventually you'll be able to find a peace with it in yourself, or that person will come back and resurface. But I think it's the faith aspect, that if that person was meant to be there, they would be there.
Right.
I agree with that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So with that, as far as gifts, so over the process of the healing journey that we've kind of talked about with the steps, what does that look like within finding and implementing your gifts? And also, like, what does that mean? When we say gifts, what are we talking about?
Okay. So, I mean, to be honest, I just think of something you are just naturally good at, that helps not only you, but also the collective, that helps everyone as well. So, like, me personally, I love love. Like, I love people. I love the idea of love. I love unconditional love. It's so easy. Like, it's honestly so easy to just give that off. Sometimes it's easier to give it to strangers.
I love strangers.
And I say that because I saw a post the other day about how it's easier to show someone selfless, unconditional love, but I don't respect everyone. And that's just, and I read that and I was just like, wow. I had to kind of like really sit with that, because I feel like respect is a form of love.
Yeah.
In a way.
I would agree with that.
Right? Yeah. But I also looked at it under the lens of, there are actually people that I lost respect for. I still love you. I can still, have that love for you, but if I know I can't respect you, and I know I don't respect you, why would that be around me?
Well, I think it comes with the shift of perspective, because let's say that when we understand that everybody is somewhere on their journey, I think a lot of times we lose respect for people because we're assuming this place of like, they did this to me, or I can't believe that they would treat me this way. But when we come from the understanding of where they are on their specific journey and understanding their ego acting out,
very true,
then it alters, like, I can respect them, but that doesn't mean that they have to have access to me.
Right.
Because they can be in a certain place where it's like, for my own peace, you kind of got to be over there and I'm going to be over here.
Right.
And that's okay. But I do think that, we just have to respect each other's individual places where they are, and when you see it for what it is, as you're acting out of a place of you're being triggered, your ego is going off, your trauma is, showing, type of thing, then it shifts, like, have more grace for the person.
Yeah. That's very true. That's very true.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
But no love lost.
I was like, but stay over there.
Right. Heavy on that part. Everything's good. But I definitely like just deal with that. Yeah. Like totally different now. Like it's just so much easier. Just, oh, they're gone. Okay, what's for dinner? Like, it's really not a, peace be with them, blessings, all that good stuff. Again, still love you, thing. But for my peace, yes.
I love learning how to be in the process of not attached to anything, because throughout the process, sometimes people switch jobs, they switch friendships, they switch their environment, all these. So you learn like not to get attached to any particular thing, letting things come and letting things go.
Yep. That's a big part.
Yeah. So we're in like we were talking about your gifts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We were kind of rewound, but
a little bit. So I think as we were talking about people who come into our life, I think for me with my gifts, I was really in a place of learning the law of attraction and learning how to change my energy was like one of my biggest steps. And so there was a friend of mine who I loved his energy, and when I first met him, he was just getting into his spirituality, or he was already in it, but by the time I was in a place maybe he was before, he was already a coach, a spiritual coach. And I wanted him to...
I'm sorry, I just have to ask. Like a real spiritual coach?
Yeah, like he's really good. Like even, we're not talking anymore, but still, I still give him his props. I think he has amazing talents. Like he has a gift. So anyways, like where am I going with this? So he wasn't living in the area I was living in, and I would think like, oh man, if he was here, like the things I could learn or the things I could do. So I ended up buying like a past life regression from him. So if any of you guys don't know what that is, it's a form of hypnosis / meditation where they bring you down into a place where you start having past lives. Now you could take that as that's actually your past life, or you can take that as a form of getting into your subconscious. People think of it in different ways. I take it as a past life. So it really helped me unlock my gift, which is reading energy, and I was able to really get into tarot. He didn't guide me that way. It's just by doing that past life, it somehow got me into wanting to do tarot and to getting into that. So I think as we were talking about people coming into our lives, I'm really grateful for that opportunity because as you're walking your path and you don't really know where you're going, like if you're just trying to fix yourself and doing that inner healing, people will come up out of the blue who can really help you. And I would say it was just so random that I got that opportunity. And then it's really crazy how like a lot of other people, at the time I didn't know anyone spiritual, and then I got to meet a bunch of spiritual people randomly. I met Sydney and I got to meet you. So it's like that's really cool that like as you start to have yourself more aware, you start meeting more people who are aware and can just like come into your life at the right time. So I think alignment is really key, and if you fix your energy or you fix the healing parts of you, people like I feel like, well, this is also a part of like my faith, is that God will just put you in the path you're kind of meant to go. So there's also a huge factor of trust for me, as like I've gone through my healing journey, but then I may have to go through it again. Like I've learned things, but then I may have to learn something else. So it's kind of like you don't like, maybe at some points you are actually a teacher yourself or you're giving, but I also think there's a factor of your life, your soul is meant to learn lessons. So you may have healed a part of yourself, but you'll go through another chapter and another door will open where you're meant to do something else. I read something where it was saying that you should change your job like every 12 years or something like that. Like you should, like there'll be places in your life where you'll just keep shifting. And I think that you were saying like allowance and watching people on their journey, you can't be upset if someone has their own journey because you're on your own journey and they're just not meant to come. So I think that for me is a big truth, because I felt like I had to drop my spiritual teacher in order to find myself, because even though he was wonderful, he was also my friend, and we couldn't be both.
Yeah.
So that was a thing that I learned.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, that's big in itself. Mm-hmm. But just to get back on the alignment, because that is a huge portion on it. Once you're in alignment with yourself, you're automatically in alignment with your like, how do you do that gracefully?
It was nice.
You did it gracefully. Rewind.
Alignment with self, automatically in alignment with your soul's purpose, you know, what you're doing here.
I really liked you.
I mean, right? Am I in alignment with this fly right now? Like, because you keep popping in my face. Like, it really.
Don't say the A word anymore.
Right.
Every time you say it.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. This is insane. Okay. Yes. The people come and it'll be easy.
Yeah.
It will honestly, when you're in alignment, everything works out how it's like, everything works out like how it's supposed to, and keeping yourself in alignment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a balance.
It's hard because you're gonna get, yes, like you said, we're gonna get, of course, another aspect of ourselves to heal, another, thing within us that we need to look at, work on, what have you. But there's also tests.
Yeah,
like, did you learn from what you've been saying, practicing? Are you applying it? Did you learn from the last time?
Yeah, like if you go through one relationship, I guarantee you in the next one you'll find a similarity, and you're meant to do something different. You're not meant to do the same in whatever relationship that was.
Amen.
Like it comes up, and it's like, I think that's really like, when we're talking about gifts, I think the biggest gift you can get from doing this journey is your awareness of self. Because once we do that, we just see everyone as like, you're here for a reason. You're not just here because I didn't create you into my reality. Like, you're here because I needed you to be here in my reality. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I was thinking about the other day? Like, a super simple way to see where, like, you're hung up. If you have a situation or a question of, like, should I be doing this? Or should I stay in this friendship? Should I stay in this relationship, right? And we're always thinking of it from the perception of our emotions and our baggage and our life, right? Mm-hmm. But think about it simplistically of, if my friend came to me and asked me the same question, what would I encourage them to do? Because your answer is going to be without emotions tied to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then if your answer for you personally does not match what you would suggest a friend to do, why? Why are you being tied up?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Tons.
Yeah, and so like I was thinking about that for myself of like, I would tell my friend to do something, deemed better than what I think I would personally do. And I'm like, hold up, then we got an issue.
Yeah.
That is, that's...
It also can be if you were, let's say, the same, which is like you were to give that friend the same advice that you would give yourself, and you're not doing it,
right?
Then we're acting out of fear at that point, or So that's also a great way of looking at it too. Is like if you know that the answer would be the same, then go back into self as to what's the next. Then why not? Because it's usually aligned to a fear.
Yeah, more than likely. We've established that.
So, Sydney, what do you think, or what do you own as your gifts, and how did you get to that place?
So, I've always been able to, I always paid attention to my dreams. I would have these dreams about people that I don't know, people that I do know, but shouldn't be knowing these details kind of things. I'd like call them, be like, hey, I had this dream about you. This, that, and the third happened. And they were like, oh, that happened? But like last month. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, that's crazy. Back in going to church, you know, they would tell me like, oh my God, you have the gift like Joseph, and you know, King of Dreams and all that. That was a great movie, by the way. So it's still a fave. And I kind of just settled in that. Once I did, they kind of went away. I didn't have them as much. For like a good couple of years, looking back, I was just completely out of alignment. I was somewhere I wasn't needed to be. I had no business being, but regardless. So coming back into myself and uncovering all of these things that I would keep covered that I wanted to dislike about myself. Side note, that was just me accepting the projections of other people that they put onto me. But anyway. And once I got into that and really practicing and really, you know, I would play with my intuition. Like now on TikTok, they have like those like test your intuition videos, and I'll be like, hey, yo, I'm nice. Like, I really know what you're talking about. You're so nice, yo.
She just goes through scrolling. What'd you do today? I passed 200
So the dreams started coming back a little bit more symbolistic. I personally think that that's just a way for me to really pay attention, really remember them. And let's say so it's a specific gift called clairaudience, where you can hear just about everything. You get, you know, symptoms may or may not include ringing in the ears, seeing figures, energy walking by or passing by. Feel like your name is being called and it's not. Because I always thought it was gonna like just come up as clear, like sound, like Sydney, you must embark on this. Like,
and a light comes.
Yeah. But and again, like I said in a past episode, is just hearing these things like my own thoughts, but I know how to differentiate between them because it'll be in a way that I don't think on a normal basis. So, which is also amazing to have done all of that work to know myself and know how I am, how I communicate with myself. Because I talk to myself like I'm the only one here. It could be the three of us, and I would still talk to myself. But it's only gotten deeper of a connection with my intuition. I've noticed the stronger my intuition, the less I'm questioning anything, the less I'm looking for these intuition tests. Sometimes I'll be listening to a playlist in the car, and then I'll be like, just think of a random song that I have, and then that'll play next. Hey, yo, I'm nice, yo. Like,
That's funny.
I'm freaking nice. But yeah, I say all of that to say, yeah, I could hear a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not on purpose either. That's probably like the hardest part for me to accept, is it just happening. Anytime I'm with anybody, at this point, it's, what? I was thinking that. What? How'd you do? We said it at the same time. Oh my God. And I'm just like, trust me. It's not on purpose. It's not with malicious intent at all. You know, half the time I think it's my own idea, but apparently not. Like, everything's fine. That's all I have to say about that. What about you?
I would say that similar, where it's looked, my gifts, like I didn't really acknowledge what was happening, and they've changed and looked different as far as how they were being played out in my life over time. Because like when I was in church, people would always say, oh, you're prophetic or this and that, and I'm like, I don't know. You know, like I'm just doing me, and that's what people would say. And then like, you know, as I got more so just with myself and noticing different things, because I guess in my mind, the reason I didn't acknowledge it is because I thought everyone was the same. So like I thought everybody was functioning and thinking similar. So I didn't see it as a gift or different, if that makes sense. So once I did start to like become more aware of myself and the connections with other people and observe, I'm like, oh, it is different, you know?
Yes.
And so then I was like, let me now in that place own what my natural gifts and abilities are. And so for me, it was like growing my intuition, which led me to a place where I was almost, I was chasing, what am I supposed to be doing on this earth? And it grew into a frustration for me because I'm so logical. I'm just like, if I know what it is, then I can do it.
Yeah.
But
I'm
like
the same.
Yeah, but I didn't know it, so it was frustrating me so bad. But I think that was a part of my lessons, was like to learn how to just have patience and trust and take the next step. Because I feel like you always know what is your next step. You don't know what's to come after that, but just take the step you know to take.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and it will lead you where you're supposed to go. And that's exactly what I did. And for me, I got into a lot of like holistic type things where my diet started changing, how I did self-care, how my mental health, like all these different aspects. And so I was pushing out all this different type of stuff, not only with myself, but with others around me. And then it was in that moment that in this season of my life that it would play out of a holistic healer. But it's like when I stopped chasing what I was supposed to do, that was the moment I bumped right into it. You know, and so I think that I am an energy worker, and it's playing out in this moment as a healer, or other people may know it as a shaman, but people aren't always. It's not a approachable term, so.
Right. It's still what's that word? Like a negative connotation.
Right.
Associated with it, which is crazy to me, because I love everything. I love it all. Yeah, I agree with all of that for sure. All right, what now?
So how do you see your gifts playing out?
That's good. That's a good one. I see my gifts playing out. I don't think I've fully come to my exact destination.
Yeah.
I think I have a gift in reading tarot, and I'm pursuing that, and I really enjoy it. However, I do think that gift is a part of me, but it's not all of me. So I think I'm kind of where you were saying, where you just kind of let everything find you. So for my gift, I do enjoy working with people because the way that I do my tarot is more of a subconscious understanding of yourself than it is a psychic, futuristic tarot reading, because I do believe everyone has their own destiny, and it's not for me to tell you what your destiny is. So I think a part of my journey has been ethical boundaries to my intuition, because I can see something for you, but that doesn't mean that I want to hold you. Like, I think about it, like when I do tarot, for instance, like if I say this to this person, then I'm holding them to this and they're going to remember it. I mean, there's a chance they don't, but a lot of times anyone who's gotten a tarot reading really holds on to it and can remember it for years, and then I'm really just making what I believe to be true onto them. That's my belief on it.
Right.
So with tarot, I like to talk more about their subconscious, what's really going on, putting it out into like what I see playing out, and how your energy, if you changed it or if we put our energy somewhere else, where it would look. Because I don't want to put a mark on something.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I've had to like notice with tarot. And then also like, that's not all of me, and that we have many different gifts, and that's one that I've realized through, going through my first step in my awakening. But I also feel like right now where I am is more of awareness to self and focusing on another door opening. I don't know where it's going, but I do see that for myself. So I guess in terms of igniting your gifts, it's like I feel like we're multifaceted and we can open many doors. So I see it as a way of me helping people. I know I've helped people with things that were happening deep down that they weren't telling anyone else, and I've really loved trusting myself and like saying random things that like it's kind of hard at first when you're doing tarot, because you're like, am I just saying something like crazy? But it's really nice when you can get that validation from the individual, like, yeah, that's true, or yeah, like, I'm picking up on that. So it's cool to trust in yourself, because that actually really helped me trust in my own intuition by just being able to read in other people like what I'm feeling. So I think that what tarot's actually taught me is not so much what I'm giving to others, but also, well, yes, it is giving to others, but also how in tune I am with myself and trusting in myself more to be in tune.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a part of with your spirituality, like, am I crazy?
Right.
Like, I think everyone
that is completely normal.
Will hit that spot of like, this is crazy. Because like, especially in our society, and like if you come from a religious background, they push you in a way where like being like, for instance, like a healing woman, you then became a witch, or like, they'll twist things and turn things to make you scared of your own self, so you can go to the church, or like go to your like go to a doctor instead of trusting in that there's something wrong in your body. And you go to all these doctors who tell you to get a surgery when it could have been something that, like, I don't know, we're not going that far in, but like I'm just saying I think there's times where we can trust ourselves, but so many things in our outward experiences trust someone else better than yourself. So
I big ups. Yeah. I feel all of that. I was gonna say something to you, but it'll come back up. For myself, I am definitely in kind of the same boat. Like, whatever happens. Like, especially with, I've already listed, I hear stuff that I don't got no business hearing, but I do have business hearing because I can hear it for a reason. So just following that and listening to it, and having that guidance, and who knows who I could meet, who knows the new things that I could be doing, and even with what I said firstly, like what I believe is my greatest gift is just being able to love and offer love. And so just in my day-to-day, I'll just make sure that happens, and I feel that on a regular, spiritual gifts and extra, journey or not, like, that's just a way of life, is treating every person, thing, animal, plant, insect as well, with love. And and it's one of the pillars that I follow for myself, is just treat everything with love. Kindness. Love, yeah. But it's, like, who knows? The sky is the freaking limit. But with that spiritual gift, as of right now, I more so feel like it's kind of like a compass.
Yeah.
More than something to build off of and, you know, try to capitalize on right now. And it's just, okay, like, are you in alignment or like that's how I feel about it and how it's worked into my day-to-day now.
So let's talk about some examples, you know, of what that looks like, because how I want to come to the understanding of, like, when we are on the journey of really, like, going through stuff of healing ourselves and working through our mental health and our emotions, right? There are people that, yes, we're doing the work internally and doing it ourselves, right? But there are people that are in place that have gifts to be able to encourage you, to guide you, to help you through. So what are some of those gifts that people could be looking for somebody to be that for them? So we have tarot readers, we have people that, energy workers, we have people that can help you with past life, we have people that can help you with dreams. Like, what are some other things that you guys have seen?
Honestly, for me, it's been a lot of books and podcasts. So that's also a source for me, is knowledge. You know, I think that, like, whenever I've needed something at the right time, it's like popped into my, like, sphere kind of thing. Like, there's like a thing I'm going through, somehow I find a YouTube video on it, or you know, I found my friend when I was talking about him, I found him on Facebook, you know, actually offering that, and I just felt in alignment, like my vibration just felt like, ooh, I want to do that. Some people, it may even be astrologers, you know, finding their,
I was gonna say that.
I think that a lot of times when we're looking, like, at a gift, it's also like, you probably have that gift. If you're looking for someone, they have something that you also have within you. I find a lot of times. I don't think that, I mean, yes, you could, but, like, why do people who, you know, have maybe issues with eating go to a dietitian or go to what is my friend? Like,
nutritionist?
Yeah, like, you know, you're going to that because you find there's something that, you know, you're looking for.
With
it. Yeah. You know, you're looking for, or an intuitive eating coach.
Yeah.
There's people like that as well. I think that's, but you, same thing. But yeah, like, you know, just when you're looking for it, you'll find people offering their service.
Well, so how do you know who is the right person for you specifically? Because there's people everywhere offering their gifts out to you. So how do you know this is the person for me?
If you want to pay for it, one, because you have to be wanting to pay for it. And a lot of times now, unless it's a book or a research, even then you're paying for it, right? Unless it's free content on YouTube or a podcast, those are free. But I think a lot of times, are you willing to pay for it? I know that sounds weird, but, like, a lot of times the people that we really want to work with, we have to pay for. So that's one.
So that is one, for sure. For me personally, how I know is, one, if, say, for example purposes, I am so lost in my walk. I don't know what my purpose is. I feel stuck. I feel that, you know, something has to give, and I'm looking for all these answers, don't know where to start. What do we do, like, before we want to buy something? Like, we know in our mind we're going to buy something, but what do? Scout it out. Look at competition. Look and see what this person's offering, what their inventory is, what they have in the shop. And you go off of that. Now, there's resonance.
Yes.
So feeling that, so for me, my resonance is in my body somewhere. Like, I'll have different body parts that mean different things. So if it's for me, I feel it in my chest, like, straight. Like, it's just like, like, oh God, like, hit me kind of hard there. And it's not a feeling of nervousness. It's not a feeling of like butterflies or like jittery or anything like that. It's kind of like, oh shit. Like, ooh, like you just feel it. It's, you know, whether it be, again, perceived positive or negative, there's no negative energy surrounding that feeling. I think that's what I'm really trying to say. So there's that, and then, you know, booking your reading with said person. There are so many different types. There's people that actively open their channel to the Akashic Records, which is everything about everything, every past, present, and future action, like thought, every single thing. There are people that are just intuitive, like that just can see the pictures in their head and type it out. I feel like you're going through this, that, and the third, and this is what's going to happen. Tarot readers, a lot of divination practices, and I feel that it doesn't have to just stop at divination. I do feel like people are attracted to divination because it's kind of more of a concrete answer to what they're looking for. Although all of these divination practices and tools, we all have access to them at all times, you know, within ourselves. All the answers are there. So it just depends. I think it just depends. But, you know, in being in the spiritual journey, I feel like they will come to you regardless if you don't want to take the divination route. It's like you get to a point where you know that everyone that's coming around is for a reason, whether it be pleasant or a lesson. And I lost my train of thought a little bit, but it's the resonance for me. Let me just get back to that. It's the resonance for me, just feeling it, and again, going back to how easy it is. You don't have to feel like you're running out of things to talk about, or even if you do, there's nothing bad with it. You don't have to try hard. You don't have to try at all to form these relationships. They just happen because they are meant to be with you at this part in your journey.
Yeah.
Emphasis on part.
Right.
What is your...
That was my biggest thing, was resonating, because and let's like, let's take social media for example, because that is a big place where we do see these people, right? There are of course instances where you just run into people on the street and all of that. I'm not saying that's not, but a big thing right now is social media. And so for me, like people that I was meant to work with at particular times, it's like they would post everything that I was going through in that moment. And it's like everything was like sticking out and exactly what I needed to hear. And so, you know, I'm like, all right, I need to be like looking at this person, observing this person, or working with this person in some type of way. But then with that being said, there's also a time where this person doesn't resonate with me anymore, because this is the part of them helping me or encouraging me or whatever their purpose was is now complete. Right. And being okay with that. And now you will probably resonate with other, you know, gifts and types of people that you need for that part of your journey. You know, but it comes easy. It's like stuff that I've seen on YouTube that I needed to see. Like the person would have like 6 views. So I'm like, I know that I saw this on purpose, because it's not like it's being pushed out crazy. And you know, when I watch it, I'm like, everything they just said is exactly what I'm going through, or exactly what I needed to hear, and it just popped up out of nowhere. I didn't search for it, or you know, a lot of times, which is a thing too. Like, I think that there's so many people that approach us, and they're doing it from the space of marketing. You know, pay me for a intuitive reading, or I'm doing this coaching, or I'm doing da 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 da. And 9 times out of 10, of course there's exceptions, but I will say 9 times out of 10 don't necessarily work with those people.
Yeah, it is I think it is a gravitational pull to it. And then I also think I know we talk a lot about social media, but I guess because I'm not so social media based, I would say for me it's a lot of my outside of the social media realm. For me, I find that, and maybe it's a part of my faith too, that like I heard this one story once in the like I heard this one story that my friend told me from I think the Quran, and she said, or it's a story that they tell where this man goes on a hike and he asks God for help because he doesn't know how to get out because like he has no resources, he has no food, no nothing. Yeah. And 3 people came to him and told him here's a different route, and he didn't take it, so he ends up dying. It's a terrible story in that way. But it's like also like, okay, I know, but it's also being aware of the signs that keep coming. It's also the awareness of the you know, are you actually looking for the signs? Are you aware to them? Because like I do think similar things keep coming up, and it's meant like sometimes it's like, are you aware to what's being shown up? Like sometimes I'll see a certain animal a ton of times, and I don't think that's a coincidence that I keep seeing this animal. Mm-hmm. Or I find something, you know, the same person talking over and over again. Mm-hmm. Or people around me keep talking about the same thing. So it's also a receptiveness and, you know, awareness to yourself. And then once you're aware to yourself, you'll find things around you start to naturally just shift as you start to shift too. So I think faith is a huge part in it. You know, if you're, because I've been so lost like throughout my 20s. Like if I could put, what are you in your 20s? Lost. That's, I don't know if that's just me. At least,
I would put outside.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I think, you know, one thing that I've recognized throughout my journey is just faith has been a huge part of my journey. And if I didn't have that, then, you know, you could just keep, that's the frustration. Like my early 20s from 20 to 24 were frustration of not having the faith. And then from 25 and up has been consciously like having lessons and then having faith to pull through them each time and finding a new discovery along my path and having people come into my life for particular reasons. So I think that's a great way to kind of just lay back and kind of like I'm gonna say let God do the work, but you can say let the universe do the work, whatever works for, you know, float your boat. But, you know, that's what I would say too is a huge part of it for me.
Yeah. So what do y'all say to, you know, you see all these signs and synchronicities, you know, we all know the person, it's 11/11, make a wish. Now, seeing these signs, synchronicities, and the resonance, the action, like when do you know to action? Or like, when do you know when to take action or what to take from each, you know, of these things?
I think that's a big thing, and I think it comes of knowing yourself and like for me it was a journey. Originally when I would get messages, I would immediately act on it because I thought it was for that moment. And then over time I realized that of my spacing, and I think that people have similar spacings of their messages. Like for me, like my messages come usually way ahead of schedule, and so it's always of like I sit with it, and then it's like you kind of just let things play out, and then you intuitively know when to inject the action.
I would say the exact same thing. Like those signs that happen way before, like way before they actually ever occur. It's like just like a hey, we got you. It's not like a this is where you're supposed to go. It's more like a if you don't know, it's okay. Like there's signs saying that it's just coming. So just do what you do the day to day. Like don't worry about I feel like so many people tell you, have goals. I'm not saying don't have goals. Have them, you know, have a schedule, like have a set motion so you're not getting stuck in the nothingness if you're in that spot. Like make sure we're doing things to activate, you know, mind, body, soul, spirit. You know, but having said that, like those signs that come in usually are coming in fans, like you're saying. I don't think they're meant to be like, now take the plunge.
And so many people do that, like they act prematurely because they're just unaware. And I did it until I realized, like, oh, this message is so that when the time does come, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do in that moment.
Exactly.
I agree with both of you, since y'all agree with each other. See how that works out. Another question that I had, well, kind of question. How do you kind of move in the like healing, yet remembering to be in the present?
Like, as an example.
So
I get what you're saying.
So, example is, I'll just use myself. So going through, every week, every 2 weeks with you all and doing the challenges with you, other things are, popping up and other things are surfacing that I need to take care of. And so now I'm just like, okay, there's this and that, and that's cool, and I'm on my P's and Q's about, like, okay, this person did that, just watch, this person did, okay, just watch, you're still, healing and everything, where it kind of took me out of being in the present. It kind of took me out of not focusing, but, letting my inner child just do what she wants to do. I did it really good, those 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But just kind of like, and now I was like, oh man, like, cause now I'm getting into a place where I'm looking for something to fix.
Right.
Instead of letting it just surface and, going through it and moving on. I feel like I'm good now, but also like, and I only feel like I'm, okay to say that because I was aware of it happening.
Yeah. I think that moment, like that moment that we're speaking of where we are, I call it a fall. That is meant to happen so that you know how to take that action, because you're going to snap into that action, like not necessarily fast, but you'll go back to clarity. Like that moment's only for a time, so you learn that lesson that I feel like spirit was meant for you to learn, because that moment does not last forever, but that moment was meant to happen in that time so that you could get what you were meant to learn. If you weren't, then you'll go in through a series of cycles in and out until you've learned it. I feel like, I don't want to call it karmic, but it could, sometimes it can be, but other times it's just so that you know the lesson. And I don't think you're necessarily gonna, I don't know what Tony's gonna say, but I think sometimes we're just not meant to get out of that moment. Like, I think sometimes that moment's meant to play out the way it's meant to play out too, just so we can realize something about ourselves. So that's, I would just say it sucks to be in that moment, but you have to, so that you can learn that lesson. And you can get people to help you out of, like, notice things about yourself, and that can be a spiritual teacher who comes in to help you aware of something you weren't. But if you're just doing it yourself and you're just stuck in that, it could be because you're starting to become aware faster, and that moment was meant to happen so you become more aware. So that's what I would say to that. I don't know what Tony's gonna say, but
so I would say that, because the way that you worded it, you said you were stepping, or you felt like you were out of the present. But to me, I think that you were still in the present, because you were very much in the present, and that's why whatever the acknowledgement came forth, and you were supposed to know that in that present moment.
True.
I think when, because you always hear that, be present, in the spiritual journey or spirituality period. I think what it is like, there's a specific time of when you are supposed to be present with your past for a purpose, to acknowledge it, to feel it, to release it. The moment that you start to dwell on the past and replay it and be stuck there, or the moment that you're in the future, which is causing anxiety of what's going to happen and da-da-da. That's the part that you have to come out of. But I feel like you can be present with your past on purpose.
Yes. That's what you were saying?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, it's the acknowledgement that you're stuck somewhere, but you're in the limbo of the acknowledgement of that lesson that probably from the past is coming up, but you're too aware now. So it's like, you know better. Kind of like but I'm gonna wait till you like trust yourself, or or get to that deeper understanding of it.
And we get addicted to the fixing. Because we get so used to something else, here's another lesson, and we get addicted to here's the next thing and waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because healing is in a cycle.
Yep. It is not linear at all.
And I really love that you say that, because I don't really hear so many people talk about that. They, and of course we're talking about this now because we're talking after we've done, all the things we've talked about previously. But this is kind of like next step.
Yeah.
After we've done all this, is now it's like you'll be coming through that phase in different ways and in different experiences.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really good point that we make. I feel like no one talks about it.
They don't.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Because there's this thing of people, like, with it being in a cycle, right? We'll have our ups and we're feeling great, and then all of a sudden we're down again, and we feel like we're experiencing the same issue, and you're like, I thought I already did this. I thought I healed this. I thought I was past this. You have, and you did, and you are where you're meant to be. But now you're just clearing it at a deeper level.
Yeah, it's also can be like, okay, you say you're done. Here you go, and you're like,
let's see how done you are. I would like to play a little game.
A little bite comes out. You want to play a game?
I think the way that you also know you've overcome it is the next time it's just fast. It just comes faster and faster, and then it's not in your reality anymore. Like, once it's out of your reality, you've completed it, because it does not. It could, maybe it can come back, but it usually just shifts out and you enter a new experience anyways.
You know what I wanted to touch on was the fact when you were talking about people being perceived as like a witch.
Oh yeah.
And
let's talk about
I think a huge division in humanity is words and labels. Because, let's say in Christianity, somebody can be prophetic, right? But now in another realm in spirituality, or just, not believing in anything, and you're just in touch with who you are and your intuition, right? Someone that thinks of this as prophetic, but if somebody calls it intuition, now it's like a dark demonic thing, and I don't want to touch it. In reality, they're all the same gifts, but they have different terms.
Well, I've had to overcome that. I think you probably knew. Like, when we were working together, I'd be like kind of scared about the word witch,
right?
Just because I'm like people have come up to me and be like, I think in a past life you were a witch, and I'm like, I do not do that. I'm not that. Like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I still will say, like, I don't know what you're talking about, but thanks.
Yeah.
But now I've come to the idea of like, okay, and like, I don't really respond to, like, even me being a tarot reader, it's like, I just say that I'm like intuitive, or like, I don't like to say like I'm a psychic reader. Like, I don't want the labels on me.
Right.
And I think we'll be stepping into that. I feel like so many people are just calling themselves energy healers, or, like, why do people say light, or, because it's just like, we don't want to be labeled through, I don't think anyone wants to be labeled anymore. I think it's just something we're all like sick of.
Well, it's that part as one side of it. The other part is sometimes we don't use a word because of the connotation around it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't initially come out and say healer, even though that was the word God called me specifically. I came out as a life coach because I knew the words would be more received. When you say healer, people are like, I don't know.
I really like the term healer.
Because you're aware of, like, its embodiment.
Okay, I like it. I like it more.
But if you have no idea what that is, it can be kind of spooky. Like, oh, she thinks you're going to heal me. What, does she think she's God or something?
I think it's nice. Like, heal me. Like, I could just remove all the stress, heal. Like, let me just sit back.
Let's take tarot reading and divination, right?
Yeah.
People think that is
witchcraft
and dark, but in reality, let's take Christianity and the Bible. They casted lots to find responses.
Right.
It's literally the exact same thing, but we get hung up on these terminologies. And like, oh no, you're over there doing that.
Right.
Now, let me say this. There are people that summons the dark side on purpose and all that.
But they're true like that. And like you say, like, I agree with that, because it's like, that's kind of like a choice. Like, some people say, like, I'm a dark witch. And I'm like, okay, if that's what you choose to do, like,
keep that over there.
You know? So we're not saying...
We friends though, right?
That's a fact. I have never tried to be
cool.
to a witch.
Yeah. I mean, so...
Oh, what that beef.
If someone takes a certain label, I'm not saying, like, we're not saying you're not that, if that's what you call yourself to be.
Yeah.
But I do agree, like, you were going to say shaman, and then you said, like, but I'm not going to go there because of the connotation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I feel like people don't know really words and the meanings of them. Like, personally, when you said that, I was like, what's the big deal? Because I don't personally know what a shaman is. I know it's a form of being a healer, but I specifically don't know what it is. But I don't necessarily take it as a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, so to answer the question, a shaman is basically like, if we take history back, when they used to travel into like little groups, right? Yeah. It was the person, like the medicine woman of the group. So the person you would go to for energy work, for your herbal needs, or your holistic care, all of those different things, like overseeing the group.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. Thank you. So I don't even know what it means.
And
great. So, with that being said, we're going to be going on our journeys with that, what we shared, how we're connecting with our spirituality and the gifts that we do have, and whatever gifts God would like to bless us with. We'll keep you updated.
That being said, while they're going on to season 2, I will be opening another door, and I just wanted to thank you both for the opportunity to like put my voice out there and see what this is like. It's really cool because me and Sid work together, and I like wrote one day, this is just talking about like manifestation really quick. I wrote like, I want to be in a podcast, and I never knew how, and I'm like so grateful for like this opportunity to put my voice out there and to see what podcasting was like. So
alignment.
Yeah, exactly. As we're talking about like how our gifts and how we come in to people at the right time, I feel like my time here has been really amazing, because not only was I talking about things I've experienced, but I also got to like really look at myself too, you know, and see things that I could work out. So even though I have known things, like I've also been having to, as we're talking about cycles, relook at some things, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't get this opportunity. So I'm really grateful. Just you know, you guys are awesome. So they're really amazing girls. And I will, of course, still be supporting and still be liking everything and being a big support for you guys, because you guys are amazing. You have so much content and so much wisdom that everyone needs to know, and you're going to be able to share that on season 2. So. Aww. Yeah. Yeah, of course.
I'm just kidding. I mean, of course, I'm sad.
Well,
that came out real mean girlish.
We're gonna still vibes. I feel them. The Aquarius vibes, not the mean. I didn't think it was mean. You're guys.
Great. Well, thank you for being a part of this and helping us help each other and the people it was supposed to reach and help, because you made a huge difference. I love your mind.
Thank you.
I love your questions.
Wow, all this compliment is really boosting me up right now.
I love your energy and what you bring, and you brought a lot to this entire season.
Thanks.
And we definitely we already knew. We've had the conversation. You know, we've met for a reason, and we're doing this for a reason. And you know, and like you were saying, you know, it may have been fulfilled.
Yeah.
And you're going on and doing amazing things, and I wish you all the best.
She's so genuine. Thank you. You're amazing. I really appreciate you. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that all three of us were meant to do this in this time.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was on purpose, and people, I hope, got a lot out of it from the feedback that we received. You know, you guys had.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tony. And thank you for helping me so much. She's a great coach. Go check out our website. Go check out all our products. She's amazing.
She's not that scary, I promise.
I genuinely think that, you know, we helped each other to reveal certain things within ourselves that was needed, you know?
Yeah.
Very much.
I
very
appreciate
much
both
so.
of you for showing me and helping me and being such a support. It's so awesome.
No problem. So, if you would like to find out how you can be on...
Contact.
Oh.
What were you
I was going to say be on the show with us.
Oh, I was gonna say
Sorry.
how to keep up with her.
She's gone. Like what
is your
I'm just
TikTok?
Oh yeah. Follow me on Dear Tarot, and I may be, you know, doing some more stuff with my tarot, so you guys can check that out on my TikTok or my Instagram.
Same handle.
Same handle, no change.
Dear Tarot.
Thanks, Sid. Dear Tarot.
Any underscores or anything we need to worry about?
Is it on my TikTok? No.
No.
Okay.
So what were you gonna say? How to be on the show with us?
Oh, contact us.
That's it.
The interview process is really hard.
No, just kidding. The betting
You
process.
have to fly in the skies. I'm joking.
You have to be able to levitate.
We'll be doing background checks.
No convicts. Just kidding. Actually, there's no problem if you're a convict.
No. I mean, if that's what y'all would like to see, that's...
Watch them heal people on this show. No.
Could you imagine? Oh gosh. The convicts.
I
healing
will
corner.
be definitely. Honestly, that'll be.
That is for a specific person with a specific gift.
That is not me.
All right, let's just leave that there.
I was kidding. It was. Sorry,
Oh,
it
gosh.
cannot apply.
No, if you would.
Right, everyone's equal here.
Right. We love everyone around here. Well, I do. Love everyone around here.
Where's this going? Sorry, guys.
I don't know.
Okay.
You are more than welcome to contact us. You can send us an email at highnesstalk@gmail.com. Or on any of our socials, send us a direct message on TikTok, highnesstalk_. On Instagram, we are at _highnesstalk. Highness.
We got the link.
Talk.
There's the link, you know, in the description. It'll take you to all the sources.
Yeah.
But just let us know, like, how you want to work together, what your ideas are, contact us. Check out the links as well, because there's merch, all kinds of things to do.
Yep.
I like the merch.
We all got some. This has been the craziest pleasure to do. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to Highness Talk, the Royal Podcast.
Season 1.
Season 1.
Finale.
OGs.
I'm Sydney.
I'm Tani.
I'm Nina.
And we love you all. Bye-bye.